Hi, African Queen team. How are you doing? You'll have to forgive me. It's a windy day. So if my hair starts to look ridiculous, just understand. I'm out at the beach, taking in oxygen. Because sometimes you feel like you can't breathe in this life. When things are outside of your own control, sometimes you feel like you cannot breathe. Don't you feel that way, you guys? Let's say, for example, let me give you an example. Like, let's say you do work for someone and then they refuse to pay you. Or they delay your payments. That happens to me a lot, especially when you're working in international circles and you're not anywhere near the finance department. It can be really tough. So anyway, hope you're well, guys. Welcome to my show. My name is African Queen Mo, and I'm here with another show for you. I'm based in Mombasa, Malindi, and I'm sitting in front of a very beautiful hotel called Cyrock. They don't pay me to do this advertising, but because I always want to support the businesses in my region, in my area, I will do the advertising for free. I'll give a mention. After all, not everything is about money. The way I was brought up is not to worship money, but to worship relationships. Relationship first with my God and then with people and with animals and with my environment. So guys, today I would like us to talk about one thing that I think affects us universally and globally. And that's going to affect us even more now as Kenyans because we're just about to go through a general election and the stress levels are very, very high in the country. Things are what I call thick. Things are thick. Things are hard. We're having financial issues because of the high cost of living. We're having insecurity concerns because of the stresses of the elections, which are so tight and so tense. The mood in the country, guys, is so tense. It's not a good thing. And I don't know why we have to go through this every 5 years. Don't we ever learn anything? I actually blame my generation more than I blame the young people because we should have learned by now, how to handle stress. Why can't we figure it, honestly? As I'm looking on the other side, I can see a boat. I don't know whether I'll be able to zoom in. It's just distracting me with some riders in it. Anyway, I'm sure I'll catch up with them later. But anyway, let me see if I can show you. Yeah. This is it. This is it, guys. Let's go to the beach. Beach. Hi. Can I leave my shoes here and go into the beach? Guys are so friendly here, guys. I'm in the ocean. I'm going down to the ocean. I didn't plan on this, but why not? Ooh. Yep. When you're stressed in life, it's just good to come to the ocean front. God has given us a very beautiful ocean. Why not? The water is so blue. The beach is quite clean, actually. The sand, it's very sandy. I'm not going to go into the water right now. I want to prepare for this. But I will show you around. Woo, there goes the water. It's coming close to me. It's just next to the public beach. It's not far. The public beach is just over there. In fact, normally what I do is I go to the public beach and then I change over here at Cyrock Hotel. See, this is Cyrock. This is Cyrock. The beauty of Mombasa and why I decided. And you see there's all these boats over here. They're covered. You can take all these powered boats here. They belong to the hotel, I believe. So like I was saying, yeah, you can rent that jet ski behind me there. See that jet ski? So you can rent a jet ski and go swimming, go jet skiing when you come to Mombasa and enjoy yourself and release the stresses, because there's a lot of stress in life, guys. Yeah, they're nice, friendly people here. I think you have to pay. How much is it for the jet ski ride? 2,500 for a ride. How many people? One person per person. 2,500 for 10 minutes, guys. Did you hear that? Well, that's expensive. I think you'd have to come here and negotiate that price. But it might not be too expensive for some of you guys. You can also stay in those hotel rooms that I'm showing you over there, right in front of me. So you see those pretty rooms there? It looks like a cake actually, guys. It's blue and white, and you can stay in those rooms and have a really beautiful view of the ocean from here. Yeah. You people, you have no idea how I'm struggling to get myself into the right location. This has been crazy. Talk about things being big. Just finding it at the right spot to talk to you people. Okay, what were we discussing? We're discussing stress. So let me just make sure my microphone is working. Yeah. Like we're saying, the kinds of things that give you stress. For example, this election. Have you guys ever heard of this thing called the election stress disorder? I had no idea it even exists, but apparently it does, and it affects people of all types. It affects the voters, it affects the politicians, it affects everybody. So let's just say, the last presidential race, yeah, there was a lot of stress in the US. People were feeling much more stressed out than in 2020, for example, than compared to the 2016 general election. Yeah, it affects a lot of people. The elections affect people, by the way, guys. We should not take it lightly. We should take it seriously. Yeah. So they're saying that ahead of the most divisive election in decades, where more than 2/3 of US adults, 68% of US adults, felt much more stressed, and they considered the presidential election a source of stress, significant stress. Yeah. So that was like a great increase from 2016, where they said only 52%. It's a large increase. So people are feeling more and more stress. It's like every single election that comes, you get more and more stress. Remember last time, guys, when we were having the elections last time, the biggest thing on our shoulders, I think everybody was feeling the stress, was about the ICC. Now it's not even about the ICC anymore. Yeah. Now it's more about just the fact that we have two very strong candidates. Yeah, and they each have very loyal followings. And that's kind of dividing us. It's kind of causing some sort of very divisive politics. We've seen some very negative behavior, very antagonizing behavior. Grown men abusing each other, throwing insults. Do they remember they have children, they have grandchildren? Please, you know what? Apana. Yeah? Not to mention that some people are even getting to the point of crying. What we can see in the open, they're starting to cry. Why are they crying? Because of this election stress disorder. Others are cutting up their voter cards, okay, because they don't know, they don't have enough money, because they don't feel Kenyan enough, they feel discriminated against because they don't also present their information in the right format. One guy I hear cut up his voter card because he didn't present his electoral candidates in Excel format. This kind of bureaucracy that makes it so difficult for just any Tom, Dick, and Harry to stand up for office, People need to realize that the presidential office is not just a joke. You have to be qualified, you need to understand, you need a team to help you, yeah? Yeah, so basically what we're talking right now is about stress and how people, in the midst of a global pandemic at the same time that's killed so many thousands of people all over the world. And then on top of that, we have the Russian war. On top of that, we have the fact that we're locked down and many people lost their businesses, lost their sources of income. So on top of that, we have an election. That is just too much. That creates a sense of uncertainty. And that creates a lot of stress for people. So there's a lot of things that are out of our control, like the news, like what we see on social media, like the news, like the fighting and infighting. That's all outside of our personal control. But it makes us feel so helpless. And then we kind of tend to internalize it. And sometimes we blame each other, we blame ourselves, Yeah, so how do we deal with these stresses in our lives? And not to mention the fact that Yeah, there's also other stresses. Right now, there are parents. I mean, to be a parent in this country right now is tough. You know, it's just like, it's like jumping steeplechase. Every time there's barriers here, barriers there, barriers there. You know, it's a high risk activity to be a parent right now. The government can just wake up today and tell you that your children have to be home tomorrow. And you better prepare yourself, whether or not you're prepared, whether or not you have money. They're not considering the poor people in the country who probably have to look for money to get their children back home from boarding schools. They're not considering the fact that cars have to be serviced that carry these children back home. They're not considering the fact that, you know, there has to be somebody who did the shopping, somebody who's going to plan to stay home with the kids. Nobody cares, you know. Unless you wonder to yourself, what would make a whole minister, a cabinet secretary for education just decide, you know, today, that tomorrow, all schools, all over the whole country, it's as if the whole country is right there in your neighborhood. That's very insensitive towards parents, guys. And it's causing parents a lot of stress. And then, let's say, for example, people are already experiencing family challenges at home. So you imagine husbands and wives, how they're arguing right now. Because finances, as we know, stress people. Yeah? So I don't know, you know. What we need to do, we need to really think, because we can't just continue living like this. So for me, let's be solution oriented, guys. Let's figure out, what do we do? So number one, try and engage yourself in meaningful activities. Like, the first thing I do myself is I make sure that I leave the house. Try as much as possible not to be in the house. And if you are in the house, find something meaningful to do. Like work, of course, and beyond your work, there's your hobbies. If you enjoy cooking, if you don't enjoy cleaning, if you enjoy organizing, if you are those people who like to create things, crafts, if you like to paint, if you like to listen to music, you like to watch movies, do something. You know, sometimes, you know, you need to move your body. You need to move something that will move your body. The other thing is, stay socially connected. Pick up the phone and call someone. Have a chat with a friend, you know, with your parents, with your sister, whoever you're close to. Have a chat with that person. The other thing is, avoid toxic people. If there are people who are toxic in your life, just avoid them as much as possible during this period, especially during elections, because right now we don't need any stresses in our lives. Some of those toxic people are right there inside your family. Avoid them. It doesn't matter even if it's family time. If they're too toxic to be around, just stay away from them. Stay active. Release energy. Yeah, like for me, I'm doing a little bit more swimming. Let your children also go swimming, because by the way, you know, even children experience stress. Let them go outside and play. If you have a swimming pool in your compound, let them go swimming. If they don't know how to swim, call an instructor, like what you can see here. Yeah, you see, I went out swimming the other day and I felt so good. Actually, it was just yesterday. I felt so good, and then after that I went dancing. My goodness, you know, I felt so energetic and I slept so well, because you're moving your muscles, you're improving your blood circulation, you're increasing the oxygen in your body, keeping fit and keeping flexible, because as you get older, you get less and less flexible. So it's important not to just sit around and just drink, or sit around and you know, just be active, go out. So basically, guys, the presidential race here in Kenya is so heated, it's so tense, the environment is so tense, we're worried about our security. We have countries that are issuing travel advisories to certain regions in the country, and you wonder why. Why should they offer travel advisory to a certain region? Why not to the whole country? It's actually not right. Although anyway, they do that. The other time it was Lamu and Mombasa and Malindi, and other times now, you know, now it's in Kisumu. But you wonder why? Because right now it's quite peaceful, you know. Well, I guess, you know, they have intelligence, so I guess we better listen to them. Yeah. So I was asking her, you know, what are some of the stresses for parents? And she says, unajua, wazazi wamepeana pesa zote kwa school fees. Sahi hakuna pesa nyumbani za kununua chakula. Kila mzazi anajiima pesa. Anajiima hata chakula nzuri juu ya watoto, ndio at least watoto wasome. So imagine you tell children to come home, and parents have literally sacrificed themselves for school fees. They sacrificed all their income to school fees, and they're not eating very well, just to ensure that their children get a good education. Because for them, you know, education is everything. They have a lot of hope that their children one day will get them out of poverty. And then the other thing is that the ministry keeps on changing the schedule. They actually have like a term schedule, and they keep on changing it last minute. So last time they say, oh yeah, this is how it's gonna be. Oh, then the next time it's no, it's not like that. This has gonna be, you know. So she says, "Bangesema kitambo." They should have said it a long time ago. Yeah. Parents are getting very stressed, and this also can result in child abuse. It can also result in a situation where children decide to go out there and they have nothing to do. If you don't have any money and you have teenagers in the house, what do you think they're going to be doing? Or even if you have young children, they can fall prey to people outside there. This is when you start hearing about girls getting pregnant, boys going outside there, getting involved in drugs, even girls drinking, yeah, just having parties and doing nothing. You know, there'll be a few children also who'll be working, having to work, labor, child labor is the time that you start to see it. So election period, guys, we need to do something about it. What are some of the symptoms of stress, guys? Some of the symptoms of stress are, you can have health concerns. So for example, your health can be affected, your physical health, your mental health. This is when you start seeing your pressure is rising, when unasikia pressure. In Mombasa they say, mimi nasikia pressure. It's true, that pressure actually can cause high blood pressure. It causes your vessels to narrow. So you end up feeling very sick. Some people are even suicidal. As you know, you have to watch out for depression and suicide, because if you have financial stress, it's a great trigger for many problems. But what I want to advise you guys is this: problems in the world will always be there. Problems will always be here. They're here with us. So we just have to find a way to cope. I think coping strategy is what's important. Talking to people, trying to see how people can help you to manage your stress, maybe to buffer you from some stresses. Talk to your landlords early, let them know what you're going through. Talk to the people who you're renting houses from, let them understand. And some people can be very understanding as long as you give people advance notice. Let them know what you're going through. But also the people who owe you money, get them to pay you. Maybe it gets to a point where you have to go take them to court, who knows, you know. Threaten something, you know, find a way to get the money. Borrow the money, do whatever you're going to do to get that money, even if it's in bits and pieces. We have to find a way, reduce our standard of living, reduce the cost of living, because things have changed a lot, guys. Yeah, you know me, African Queen Mo, I'm real. Me, I don't play games. Me, I'm not just here just to talk. I don't just talk. I talk real stuff. By the way, I've noticed something, guys. I've noticed some of you are new subscribers. Welcome to the team. Welcome to African Queen Mo. This is where we are real. This is where we discuss issues. This is where we don't gossip. We just discuss issues of importance. Let me know what you'd like me to discuss in future. I could see that some people were kind of happy about the fact that I discussed relationships, and I will continue talking about relationships, but I take relationships a little bit seriously. So I don't just like talking off the cuff. The other thing is I don't like to gossip about other people's relationships. I like to just, if I talk about a relationship, it's going to be about giving an example, yeah, and also trying to see how to help those people, but not about just, you know, anikaring into. I'm not going to anika anyone here on this Mo channel. No way. If you want to anika yourself, you go and anika yourself on other people's channels, not on my channel. On my channel, it's going to be about learning. It's about, you know, being real and getting people into relationships, getting people married, getting people, if they want to be married, that is, you know, and if people want to stay single, getting them to be single and be happy single, because being single is also not a bad state to be. There are times that we need to be single, but we also need to understand that singleness also comes with its own stresses, because, for example, if you're not getting any intimacy and you're single, it can also result in many other problems. You've heard about this thing of dry spell. It's real and it happens. And it doesn't just happen with single families, it also happens in married couples. But now I'm diverting. I'll talk about this next time. I've just found another really nice place to sit. I didn't realize that bars are actually nice places to sit in. See where I'm sitting? I gave up with the wind outside there and I decided to come sit at the bar. This is where I am. I'm sitting at the bar. But I should have positioned my camera over here. I think I look much better here. Yeah. What do you think? Ooh, picture taking opportunity. Nothing major. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for your time. Love you very much. Take care of yourself and talk to you soon. Have a stress-free day today and a stress-free week. And manage your stress. More importantly, manage your stress. Stay active. Get connected. Get involved in things that you enjoy. Try to avoid too much social media, some negative social media. Stay away from toxic people, even the ones on social media. Okay, guys. Okay, love you very much. Bye-bye.